When you want to succeed, you make learning and every opportunity to get what you need a priority. That literally sets the tone for how you will approach your business. We think that it starts with your idea. I'm going to tell you today that it starts with your attitude. If there's anything I've learned, I've been in operations management for 20 years. I have zero business with my friend Sade. I've been doing coaching. A lot of my coaching has been literally helping people get placed in the businesses and where they actually function the best in life. Because nothing's worse than you spending a lot of time and spending your most on a lot of things that your attributes and your faculties can't facilitate for you. So I want to put people in the best place to facilitate what they have on the inside of them so that they can be productive and prosperous. Isn't that important for us to know? So I've been doing that for a long time, and although I look 12, somebody told me I graduated. They said, I actually thought you were 30, and I thought, oh, that's good, I must be aging. But I'm actually in my 40s, and so been doing this for a long time. Is it not? Everybody always asks, but y'all black too. Can I say that? Okay. I mean, come on here. They say we don't crack. Is it true? All right, Miss Off the Rack. And we don't crack. So the reality is that we all often look good. What's great about that is that I don't mind aging wonderfully. What's difficult about that is that people often think they're listening to a 16-year-old, and then you're like, okay, come on. And lay the resume out. But today I want to talk to you guys about something because you made it your business to be here today. And I want to make it my business to give you what you need for you to flourish. And to flourish not only in the material products of your hand, but what comes out of you. I always tell the people I coach, I have a network called Winning Women's Network as well. And the slogan is giving women the power to win. Because winning starts with an internal resource and not an external exploit. We think that winning starts with exploits, but by the time you get to the place of seeing someone's exploitation, they did a lot in the midnight hour to make that moment happen. Is it true? You started a business, how many hours did you have to put in just kicking it off to get into the online place?
A lot. A whole lot.
Right, and they didn't get to see all of that. Okay, because what we're looking at is the finished product. But every finished product has a starting place, doesn't it? And it's how you start that determines how you will actually finish, okay? And then what you finish being sustained. Is it true? So that's what I want to pour into you guys today, because I feel like if you take the time to do this, my goodness, somebody should give you things that you can need, you can use. So I like to give people, and that you need, I like to give people the understanding of what it means to actually have the power to win. Okay, and so I'm an unusual coach because I do not start from the techniques and the material and the outcome. I start with the conception. Because winning is something that's conceived within. So she has Off the Rack. You have the garage door business. You're the firefighter that does the fitness. I didn't get a chance to talk with you or even hear you talk to anyone. So, I mean, I caught Leslie, and tell me your name one more time.
Andrea.
Andrea, okay. I want to make sure we get her. So what is it exactly that you do?
I just sell candy at the school.
You just sell candy. No, ain't no such thing. Okay, can I pick on her? Okay. All right.
Yes.
It's okay. Is this it now?
That's my
Your daughter. Okay. Her name was what again?
Azaria.
Azaria. Okay. You always want to use somebody's name in a sentence, but then it makes it a mental note. Okay. So the reality is, Miss Azaria says she just sells candy in her school. So I'm going to pick on her in a beautiful way. Is that okay? Because she's a beautiful girl. But this is why I'm going to pick on her in a beautiful way. Because winning is conceived right there. Do you know when she decided to do her store wasn't the day that she got it online? It was the day that she was in school thinking about clothes and looking at somebody's outfit in the hallway and saying, wow, I want to be I want to sell things that look like that. That would be really nice. See, those are the moments in which winning is conceived. It's not conceived at the moment you decide to do it. It's conceived at the moment you decide to embrace it or identify that it's something that's a part of who you are. So let's just take you. I'm just selling candy. You'll look back on this when you're in your 40s and say, but I've always liked to sell things. I've always sold all the time. Like, I always had money. That is true. Oh my gosh. I was doing that in high school. I can't believe it. Because that's the moment that the properties of what's going to make you a winner are actually birthed. They're birthed in vision. They're birthed in dreams. They're birthed in ideas. They're birthed in exploration, in the self-discovery, not in the production. All of the coaching is going to start you at the point in which it's time for you to produce, not at the point of what you need to build so that you can produce. We see the end product and we go after that. I want to be just like that. And then we think that, well, I stayed up like so-and-so, or, you know, I'll use you because you said you're a firefighter. I'm sure you have young brothers that come to you all the time, look up to what you do. Oh, I'm going to be just like him. And I'm going to fight fires, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And they skip right to all the things that you now do instinctively and intuitively from years of doing this job. And they skip past all of the things that you needed to become to produce that. Isn't it true? Because winning is about becoming. It's something that you're becoming, not something you're doing. Even as business owners, it's not something that you're doing, it's something that you are becoming. You're becoming an entrepreneur. And that's something that's coming out of you, right, Leslie? It's coming out of your soul, out of your passion for your own dreams. So we start at just the techniques and get you mimicking others instead of helping you define yourself. Okay. It's all right. I told you I come from an unusual perspective, and I actually tried to warn you. Because everything about coaching you to success always starts external. It starts cosmetic. But sustainability, the things that cause us to say, man, Oprah been on top for how long? Oh, yeah, that didn't start with techniques. That woman fought for her identity. I had to identify herself on her worst day to decide that her best day was going to happen. See? So we're always teaching you to look external, when what's going to prop you up and cause you to be sustained is internal. So we're going to talk about how powerful people become powerful. Powerful women become powerful. That includes you, okay? We're going to talk about people today since you're here. Because the reality is, we don't know what it is that people do to make it. And there's so many inorganics and so many intangibles that you can't, okay? They said there's two ways to learn, right? Caught or taught. Someone can teach you A, B, C, D. But there are things that you have to be able to catch that are inorganic to success. That is actually going to be the secret to your sustainability. If you don't want to be a one-hit wonder, or you don't want to wonder why you didn't hit it, which however that goes, okay? Because for us it could be on either side, couldn't it? So today we're going to talk about that, because a lot of the iconic figures that we look at, there are some real things that went into them becoming who they are, and had to start with self-identification. Identity. My mentor tells me, who happens to be my mom too, but she also happens to be also famous, writer, speaker, does everything. But she's telling me all the time, but identity is the key to destiny. Because we think that it starts with productivity. We think it starts with activity. Or how about this? Ability. That your ability is the key to destiny. And it's not. Guys, very talented people who just never really ended up making it. Man, that girl can sing, whatever happened. Man, that boy can play where they go. Don't know where they are. Because although their ability defined or underscored their talent, their identity was not in that. They never identified themselves as the next XYZ. So if you identify people separate from their talent, then you are going to guarantee they're not going to produce anything from it. You produce from who you think you are. So who Azaria thinks she is today is going to determine whether just selling candy turns into selling houses or anything else. Because her identity can't be in her ability to sell. It has to be in her own self identifying the success she wants to be. See, you got to identify yourself as that. No, I'm going to be the #1 real estate agent because that's who I am. That's not going to be what I pursue. Y'all okay? Y'all was raised right. Did y'all see that? I was raised well. And, because I had to have these talks. Because, I was always thinking about, I didn't want to do. No, you want to be. My mother never asked me what I wanted to do. She always asked me, what's the woman you want to be? because everything comes out of being. And when you set that state of mind, that your identity is going to literally drive the rudder of the ship, it doesn't matter what happens. You can have a good day, a bad day, you can flop, fail, succeed, because your identity is not in that. It's not in your abilities only. It's in what you set out to do and what you set out to impact and what you set out to produce from yourself in this world. That's what your identity is, isn't it? So although she's just selling clothes and you're just selling garage doors, your identity is not in the garage door selling. Your identity is in the service you're providing and the solution that you're giving. So when you say, I'm a garage door seller, it's like, no, I'm really a solutionist because I help people fix this issue. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? About not being in your abilities versus being in your, in your consciousness. There's got to be a consciousness for why you're doing it so that no one else can take that from you. A trial can't do it. Your failure can't do it. Your last mistake. Because see, those things take you out. I don't know if y'all know this. They flush you in the flow. Okay? You hit a low moment, you got to come back from your identity. That brings you back. Because there ain't no customer supporting you at that moment. You got to look at the close sign on your business and decide now how you're going to live after that moment. How you survive moments is through your identity. And that has got to be something that you live by. And not something that you just look in the mirror at. Your identity is not just your image. It's not just your cosmetics. That is the core of where you produce from. Is that okay to say? That's what I have to be. These days I gave this floor for a few moments. I'm not going to be in front of you long, and I told you, I'm not coming from that traditional place. Because see, I build people, not products. I believe that people, quality people, will build quality products. And if you can't be quality on the inside, trust me, there was no quality from you on the outside. It doesn't matter how talented you are. Man, that guy's good, but he'll never call you back. And that person's wonderful, but man, when they get in the mood, you see? Because that's identity. They haven't identified themselves with the success they want to have. Because see, when you identify yourself with the success you want to have, you craft your person and you craft yourself around what you're trying to achieve. Now, I'm a business owner, so I can't do that. Now, I want to have this. I'm a successful at this and that and the other thing, so I can't act this way. I have to deliver. I have to do this. I have to honor. You see how your identity shapes that? Not your talent. Because we all talented, but let's who haven't had a bad day in here? I can't, as a coach, sometimes you look at the phone thinking, I don't have anything to say to myself right now. But you know what? That's not the person they called or they paid for. So when I'm hitting those moments, I step back into my identity. I'm a coach. Come on here. I just saved your next trial. Come on here. Y'all won't get through it. Because you're going to come back and remember, oh no, I'm a store owner. Because see, I didn't identify myself. I didn't craft my identity around failure. I got in this to produce something. So that's what I'm going to do. Whether you're feeling it, not feeling it, okay? It's you people buying into it, not buying into it. You're your first stakeholder. So you need to do that. Does that make sense? So let's talk about powerful, what it takes to be powerful. Powerful is different than productive, which is different than successful. Because we often think that if someone's productive, that they're successful. And if someone's successful, that means they're powerful. And that's not true. Because success is a material reward on efforts. Is that okay to say? But power is determined by the significance, by the impact, influence, and the longevity of your success. How many talk show hosts do we know have come and gone since Oprah or even existed before her? I mean, do y'all remember Donahue? Y'all too young. Okay, that's how I know I really put myself down. You know, I'm really 40-something, don't you? Because y'all really know nothing about Donahue. Sally, Jesse, Raphael. And let me ask you this. Where they at? Where are people at? Because, see, they had success, but Oprah has power. I said significance. Did y'all write that down? Impact, influence, and longevity. That's a powerful person. not just a successful person. Because they succeeded, they made money, people knew them, they got zeros in the bank, they got something to put on a resume, add to their biography. But a powerful person has power and influence over what they produced. She changed the industry. Is it real? So when you're talking about if you want to just be a successful woman, make money, because you can determine what success is for you. Could you not? I want to make X, Y, Z amount of money per year. I want to get it while, for doing this. You can determine that. But when you're talking about being a powerful woman, now you're talking about being a change agent. Now you're talking about sitting in a place where you affect others and you multiply after yourself. You make people want to be you. Oh, okay. Do people of power not make you want to be them? And some of us got up and started doing what we're doing because somebody in a seat of power inspired us. Oh yeah, I want to be like that. I want to just like, ooh, yeah. So when you are sitting in the place of power, you have those things. Isn't that important to know? They call it staying power for a reason, because it stays around. They call it staying power. You notice that? Because that means that there's some sort of power or ability or something that they can do that keeps them there. Why is it that she stayed and our favorite Sally is gone? What did she lack internally to push her into that place? Or what did she negotiate wasn't important enough for her to sit there? I told my last crew when we were talking about business self-defense, I said the reason why the wealthy are wealthy and the powerful are powerful is because of their attitude and their mentality. They believe that they should be there, but not only that, number ones are number one because they go past the limits of number two. And Oprah was willing to go beyond every one of those people's limits and what she would accomplish and achieve. And determined that there was nothing, no barrier, no obstacle, nothing too hard for her to achieve that goal. Is that okay to say? Because I'm telling you, obstacles and barriers and difficulty make you reevaluate how successful, what success looks like for you. Paint a different picture. I don't know if I want to be doing all that. I don't know if I want to put in that many hours. How many times did you have an opportunity to say, you know, I don't even want to do this?
A lot.
Okay?
It was because it was so much into it. I didn't think it, like you say, you see the big picture.
Right.
And you think it's easy, but then when you do it, it's not easy. You have to put in long hours, and then you have to try to balance family and other work, and then try to make time to be able to pour into your business. So you put in, I get probably like 5 hours of sleep a day.
Oh, you
Because
I know.
Yeah, because I know I'll be up because I'm just trying to balance everything as far as I don't even have a husband, but still you're trying to get that time in to put that time into your business. It's a lot of work.
It is. And you're going, your answer leads me right to why powerful people are powerful versus just successful. Okay? She said something very amazing. She said, it's when you get into doing it. Is it true, Leslie? That when you set out to do it, because when you came up with the idea and you wrote it down in your business plan, because you know Leslie wrote everything down, so it's going to be there. Okay, it's going to be structured in order. So she wrote the vision and made it plain for herself and said, no, this is how this is going out.
Yeah.
Right? All right, so she did all of that. But it's when you have to put forth effort. See, power is potential and effort that equals rate of production. Because you don't meet your power abilities, because by definition, power is an ability to make a particular thing happen a certain way, right? You don't meet that until you get to the doing. And then you realize, I don't have the input for the output to actually produce what I saw. Is that okay to say? You don't have the input to produce the output of what you just saw. Because envisioning it took nothing from you. But work does. But they say work is what? Effort plus force. And that, you remember that from good old-fashioned science school? Physics! She remembers. This girl is highly intelligent. Okay, she's going to talk about on her way to be somebody. All right? But you remember that. So that output we're talking about measuring, can we do something, we start with possibility, not capacity. Don't you? It is possible for you to be a firefighter, is it not? There's nothing that says that you couldn't do it. There's nothing written down. There's no barriers. No one's closed the door. We're not, necessarily in a different era or time. There's something you can do it. So the possibility is there. But do you have the capacity? So when the first day they put you through physical training, you realize, oh, okay. Oh, this ain't no joke. Okay. So this ain't as easy to look on TV. Like, oh, these brothers got to effort plus force to get output. So now you have to evaluate, when you're stepping into anything, your internal capacity. That's why I'm a proponent of self-assessment. Preceding or having what I call a successful self-plan before you do a business plan. Because in your successful self-plan is when you start measuring things such as these. Number one, ability. Self-ability. Not possibility. You now. Anything possible in the world. But is anything possible coming through you? Okay? I know. Who asked those questions to you on a Saturday like this? Nobody. It is we in the early afternoon. Okay? You're just kind of getting over breakfast, wondering where lunch is. Come on. Number two, potential. That's number two. Number three is capacity. We have abilities, potential, capacity. Then number four is capability. And then number five is faculty. And I'm going to tell you the difference between them all. Because these are things in self-assessment. Because you need to know what your personal output and contribution can really be to your business or any endeavor. And that's emotional output, mental output, physical output. Because even though you could be physically strong to do something, one emotional blow take you out. Then you might be emotionally strong, and then your thought life is crazy. You're always seeing negative everywhere, so then that decreases your productivity. So you have to do a self-assessment and say, what are my output levels and ranges in these areas? Because all of that goes into your ability to deliver. Because you're never going to be stronger, more respected, more productive, more successful than you can deliver. Not than you can say, and not that you can dream. That's why you start people off with dreaming is deceiving. Because your dreams don't have barriers. In your imagination, you anything. Okay. In your reality, though, you have to assess, be honest about where you are. What is my honest assessment of my mental, emotional, and physical output for this? Do I really have that level of commitment in all of those places? Because she just said, now she's not a firefighter like you, so she just said, okay, the long hours of just getting up the bit, okay? Well, you getting up that old dark 100 every day, don't I know? I used to burn the candle at every end. When I was younger, I used to be able to do 72 hours straight and keep going. Now I'm lucky. Something happens, y'all. That's I don't know what happens. I'm not even gonna talk about it because some of y'all 42 and some of y'all might be older. There are things that happen that steal your reserves. There was a bounce back at 20. I'm like, I could phone. Let's go. What's next? Yeah. Now you're like, okay, so let's slow down because I need time out. Okay, hold on. We're gonna take a breath at this landing. Okay, so it happens, but you have to think about those things because it gives you realistic. Let me tell you, but can I just be honest with y'all? We have to it's just us in here, right? Well, and whoever's watching. Okay, it's us and maybe a few others. But look, can we be honest about it? It sets proper expectation because you end up becoming so mortally disappointed in yourself because you didn't know yourself prior to this endeavor. Well, I'm gonna have this XYZ. I'm done in 2 years. I'm a millionaire. And you are in the floor psychologically now because that output really wasn't there and you didn't know that because you had not yet met your requirements. You met your vision, but not your requirements. So it sets proper expectation. And you being able to say, I know myself. I like to actually get 8 hours of sleep. All right, let's chop down some of the time frame in which you think things are going to happen. We just added on another year. Just needed to go to bed. You see? So you have to be honest with you because it keeps you from disappointment, and then you can realistically move from your self-plan to putting a business plan together that's achievable for you. You now know what you can achieve when you do a self-assessment. But when you don't, you go in there on just vision and passion, you get disappointed. And let me tell y'all something. You can end up hurting your faith. I know that people are like, that ain't that important, but a hopeless person might as well roll over into the grave. They killed themselves before their body got the news. Because you're not going to do anything if you have no hope. Tell me hopelessness gets you out of bed. I don't know anybody who wakes up from it. So the reality is you don't want to overstretch your faith thinking, oh my God, I'm going to do this in 2 minutes. Okay, and your output is not there. And here's the deal. Don't be disappointed in yourself about that. Work it. Now that gives you real, tangible things to work on so that you can be an active participant in the production of your success and not an observer, watching it go by. Because none of those are definitions for why you can't do it. It literally defines the order in which you need to prioritize your work ethic and work effort. You know, I need to work on my mind first because I tend to just go off into things. So let me bring myself back on there. I can't have a business with a mind and just go down the street. That's honesty. I had to be honest about myself. I was so bad. I was like, man, because I'm going to be, whatever by 30. And I had to be honest with myself and say, my soul just wasn't ready. I just wasn't that person. Okay? I just didn't think that way at 30, okay? And you have to get over it because the clock ticking, you just want to be somewhere else. I just wasn't there, okay? My mind was not producing these rich thoughts that they do today that can actually do something for society. They just didn't. They were caught up in insecurity. They were caught up in doubt and fear. They were caught up in intimidation. So none of those things can produce success. Now, they do produce things, but it's not necessarily successful. Okay? And you have to be honest. So self-honesty has got to be important because if you're not, your life will keep taking you by surprise, knocking you off guard, and you won't have a plan for it. And then you get so overwhelmed that you'll just be like, forget this garage door business. I'm done. I'm about to be done with this. I don't know. I don't need this boutique anyway. Because you're so overwhelmed by what you weren't prepared for. So here's your self-assessment. We have our things, right? So the first thing you want to do is assess abilities. Abilities are your talents in action. Everybody often wonders, what's the difference between a talent and an ability? A talent is inherent. You're born with it. It's not Maybelline. It's you. Okay? It's on the inside, and you're aware that you can do it. I can sing. I can write. I can do X, Y, and Z. So you're aware of your can do. But when you put that in action and are able to get it to do that every time, now you turn talent into an ability. Now I have the ability to do this and not just the talent for it or the knack. Because you guys have knacks that you never just do. I mean, you got little hobbies and things you can do that you don't want to do that every day. Okay? You don't want to turn that into something that people can rely on. I mean, that's kind of how I am a little bit about singing, okay? I can do the choir, but I ain't going to be Whitney. Like, I don't even want to, put the effort into whatever that made her, okay? So I'm just okay with that. That could be a knack. But operational management is an ability. Something I can begin to go out there and sell myself on. Because I want to produce that every time somebody calls on me. Make sense? All right, the next thing we talked about assessing is your potential. So you know your abilities. You now know, okay, I'm talented at that, but these particular suite of talents, I want to turn into an ability. Because I want to be able to do that for people all the time, and they give me something in return for this. Because not every part of your makeup or your gifts do you want to get paid on. All right, you just want to do for your own reasons, or maybe not even worry about it. Okay, or there may be what we call attending or support gifts that help you do the main thing. Okay, because if you're in business, you may not necessarily be a talented administrator, but you may be good enough to actually keep your business going. That may not be something you want to go out and put in your resume, but you do need to do that primary goal, right? So we have that. Now we got potential, which is performance power. So how does your abilities perform? How often? At what rate? See, potential tells you what? Oh, he can do it. We just identified it. And it's something that he's going to become very good at. I forgot skills in here. I forgot abilities. Turning things into a skill. I do want to add that because skills are things that you learn or perfect. And you may have to acquire a suite of skills that may not be in your ability wheelhouse so that the job can work. Especially if you're a solopreneur, you got to learn something. Well, I'm not learning. I don't want to do accounting. That IRS ain't playing. Get on with this here. You're going to learn a skill. Because you need it to actually keep your primary goal going. So your suite of skills may not be in your talent pool or your ability warehouse, but they're necessities for actually keeping going what you're doing. So they are acquired, not inherent. Skills are acquired, okay, or perfected. So I do want to put that in there. Now, potential is dealing with your ability to perform. When they see potential in you, they're not just saying ability. Now they're saying, oh, okay, he got something. Oh, he doing that. Oh, so she can really, they can really think. So now people are assessing your performance. And when they're assessing your performance, they're doing it from the standpoint of the potential you have to produce. To move out of that realm of potential, you're going to have to get into a place of skill and mastery, expertise, which is professionalism. Because to turn something into a profession means you got to be good at it to deliver every time somebody calls on you. These people out here who admire like Whitney Houston, you can't have a I hit a bad note day. No, too many. We have sold how many tickets? With 30,000 people coming to see you, you better come on and get it together. Because we got people out here. So, no. And so when they're assessing your potential, you have to think about that. So if I get an order of 1,000 pieces, will I be able to stay up and deliver? Come on. So you assess your potential. Can I do that? How will I perform under such a circumstance? So you want to evaluate how you'll be able to perform if you had your dream fulfilled. Does that? Capacity, endurance. Can you do it once? Can you do it twice? Can you do it consistently? Can you do it for a lifetime? Do you want to do it for a lifetime? Do you want to do that every day? You know you hit purpose when you in the middle of a crisis. It's the worst day. You have all these things you need to accomplish and you are thrilled by it. Okay? I thrive under some of the worst conditions. Oh wait, we don't have resources, we don't have time, we don't have manpower, we don't really have money, and I need to be able to produce a product. My creativity just goes through the roof, and I start engineering solutions and problems and workarounds and whatever, because my ops mind just thinks that way. That's how you know you're in purpose. You know you're not in purpose when you dread it. When you're like, I don't ever want to go through something like that again, then reevaluate whether you're in the right industry or business or field. Because if it takes more than it gives, it's not yours. Okay, capability. So capacity is endurance. So you want to look at your capacity. How long can you do this? How much can you give to it? That's capacity. Can I endure? How many late nights, my God, can she endure? Does that make sense to you all? Now, capability is your rate of production. How fast? How much can you produce? What's your capability? So we asked you to do 5,000 things today. Could you do them? No, I can only do 3. Okay, that's your capability. Okay? Does that make sense to you all? That's capability. Faculty. Okay, let's look at faculty. A faculty is your internal resource for your fulfillment. For you to fulfill whatever it is that you said you're going to do. You have faculties that are internal that help you to fulfill what you need. So you can have an ability to sing and then have these amazing faculties of persuasion that help people just want to buy your stuff. Why is it? What is it about that person? And you can't, your job want to figure out, why didn't everybody just listen to them? God. They have their possession of certain faculties, internal resources that help them fulfill. I know. These are the things that a lot of people in power know, but will never tell you. You're not supposed to know that. You're supposed to struggle and figure it out like the rest of the world. The reason why they have secret meetings and elite this, that, and the other is because powerful people want to stay in power. You stay in power by not letting everybody know the secret to your power. Okay, so see, talking about power. So you want to look at what your strength is, and your strength not in just what you feel like you're good at, but measuring what you say you're good at against these realities: endurance, performance, rate of production, multiplication, how far, how much, how long, how wide, okay? You want to be able to rate your strength. So when you say something is a strength, you can't just say it's something that you're good at. Look at how usable it is, how much of a utility it will actually be when it comes to producing your success. Because your strengths are your utilities. And utilities, I mean, look, we're not thinking about the air conditioning here, it's just on. That's why they call it a utility, because we need it. And then it should be available and accessible and workable at all times. I know, who thinks about this stuff? On a Saturday, no less, y'all. Y'all doing real good. Okay, so you want to think about your strength. You want to think about your force. Because force is important. You know why force is important? Because you got to ask yourself, how many times am I going to get knocked down before I become immovable? How many times somebody going to knock you out of your place and knock you out of your seat? And knock you off your dream before you make up your mind that we're doing this. And then bringing all the necessary resources together within yourself to make that so. You need force. And then of course, you need might, because you need to be stronger than your competition. Well, is it true? Because if you're in the bed and they working, things to think about. And then of course, diligence. Diligence, diligence, diligence. Is that okay to say? No, I know. A lot to think about and to take in. And a lot of people don't want to do this level of work on themselves. They would rather just kind of discover as they run into a wall what went wrong. Hindsight is 20/20, but foresight is a little bit better. Because foresight does something that every powerful person wants, and that is to always be in control. Not controlling, but always in control. They never allow themselves or their life to get out of control. Because when it escapes your control, then it means it's in the hands of another, and that means that you've already lost because there's nothing you can do about what you're living. Isn't that okay? You want your business to always be in your control. Not in the control of your customers and your employees or whatever it is that you're doing. Or even a good circumstance or, issue, trial. You don't want your business to be in the hands of that. Powerful people stay powerful because they always stay in control. I know. And how exactly do they do that? Y'all want to know, right? Couple things. I'm going to give you this. This is something you guys can research online that I thought was really good. And then I added my own little stuff to it, okay? So when you go there, don't be like, they don't say exactly all of what she has said in this here. All right? But it's called self-management. So if you're going to stay in control, the number one thing that you have to be in control of at all times is yourself. The key to any success, the key to really doing anything well is going to be self-management. You want to be able to manage yourself. So this is a guide for self-management by a group called Life Hacks. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them, but they're all over line. Okay, you can go to lifehacks.org and get the list itself. And then I added the components that are relevant to what we're saying today about being powerful, okay? So the first thing they say to you, if you're going to be powerful, is that you need to live by your values. And when we talk about live by your values, I'm not just talking about a moral compass, but your standards for how you want to do life. Your principles for how you operate and what you will produce. Why? Because then people know what to expect from you. They know exactly what it is they're going to get when they not only engage your business, engage your product, but when they engage your business. So yes, you can do great. You got the best hair on the street. You got the best hair in the corner, but you unscrupulous. Let me tell you something. Unscrupulous is a value. That is valuable to them. But you need to know that. So you can make a decision if you want to do business with Mr. Unscrupulous or if you want to do business with Miss Integrity. So whatever your values are, they need to be out there. If they hood values, then my God, people should know. Okay? And live by them. Because that way people know, man, you know how I do business? Oh, you're right, I do know how you do business. So why am I surprised? Am I getting all my change back? Okay? I mean, you got this at the trunk of your car. So what am I saying here? But at least that way, people can make choices about how they want to engage with you. That's what your values let them know. How do I do business? How do I interact? How do I engage with you? Whatever side of the aisle that's on, you need to live by that. And let me tell you something, a good, powerful gangster never changes his values. Ain't nothing strong like a good hood code. They'll never change. And it's real. And it makes sense to them. All of their rules. Because nothing can live without a value system. I know. Who says that on a Saturday? But it's real. So know your values. Okay? These help people predict how you will behave with them and what they can expect from you. Number 2, powerful people speak up. No one can read your mind. Women, not saying that you would not have a problem, but I got to go and help nice girl women. Nobody can read your thoughts. Open your mouth. Stop making everything about some sort of internal osmosis. I need to pick up psychic moment. How you feel, what you're thinking. No. You need to speak up about it. And that's in every area, because we tend to drive folk crazy in relationships with that. They should have known. Why should we have known? And why do we need to give our mental prowess to trying to discern where you are? That's a lot of energy, that's draining, and not only that, it's childish. Children act like that. We are women, not little girls. Women use their mouths. They open up their mouths and they speak. They make their thoughts known. Okay? So people don't have to go into charades to figure out what you're thinking. No one's a mind reader. Just know that. I don't care if it's your boyfriend, your husband, your child, your dog, your boss, your co-worker, your enemy can't even read your mind. So use your mouth on every front. Well, why did you say anything? Why do you want them to think? Then don't be crazy about the outcome. Because they ran off with their thoughts, not yours. Use your mouth. Speak up. No one can read your mind. Okay? And powerful people never have a problem letting you know where they stand on things, whether it's by words or by actions. Because powerful people don't always use their words. When you're in power, you don't have to. They ain't got to get in crazy fights and arguments with people because they hold the power. So you out there acting out, but you don't have none. And y'all ain't gonna be treating me that. Okay. And they say, okay, man. Meanwhile, security's coming, and they, okay. See, no one raise their voice because you can't think power is always just about volume and intensity. It's about control. What do you have control over? That's what defines your power. Is what you have control over. So in your business, if you find yourself anxious and anxiety and turmoil over things, that means you don't have control over that area. And you need to get control, whether it's your money, not sure where the money's going, not sure you're going to pay the rent, not sure where your next whatever's going to come from, that means you're not in control. You have to get in control. Because that situation is driving you. Does that make sense? And it can happen in every area. All right, so we have that. Honor your own good word. Honor your own word. Your word is power. Nothing, your product is not even going to be more powerful than your word. People will not do business with you if you have a good product and then they find out you're a liar. Well, tell me who wants to do, raise your hand in here if you want to do business with a liar. But they got the baddest hair on the street. They sell the top car. It's the top school for your daughter. Tell me who wants to do business with that person? Because your word is more powerful than anything. It's the most powerful thing you can produce. When you give it, keep it. Say only what you mean, and what you mean to produce or live by. If you don't want to live by that, don't say it. And if you really didn't mean it, then definitely be quiet and go home and think about it. There's nothing wrong with not having to respond emotionally to something in a moment. Powerful people don't allow the moments to rule them, because they're living by their identity, and they don't want you to actually misidentify them by something they said. So they will pause, be quiet, and go think about how they want to respond and react at a later time. Control. You're in control all the time. So it doesn't matter if you're in high school, it doesn't matter if you're in adult. Don't care if XYZ comes up to you and just want to tell you walk away, because you're in control. Because the moment you open your mouth and respond to them, they become in control. And they'll dictate the narrative, the conversation, and your emotion. No, you're powerful. Right? You're powerful. So you won't be quiet and say, no, I don't. Okay? Ask for more, okay? If you ask for more responsibility, powerful people are not afraid of responsibility. Powerful people do not fear responsibility. What they do is prepare a response. So if you're going to take responsibility for something, you're going to be prepared, right? Not afraid. You're going to be prepared. So powerful people will do that. And when they take on their responsibility, they take ownership of what they do. They don't fear accountability. They don't fear people questioning them, because they're going to take ownership of what they, okay, of what they're there to do. How about this? Trustworthy. Trust goes further than money. And the first covenant that's made is not a dollar bill. It's actually going to be trust. Because in order for me to go to your online store or go to your garage place, okay, or even try to use your marketing services charity, the first thing I have to believe is that you're trustworthy and you're credible. So before money is exchanged, trust is on the table. You have to make sure that everything about you, your reputation, all of that remains trustworthy, because that actually is going to be the door of entry before any exchanges are made. And especially in this lovely town called Oklahoma, because y'all know y'all like to do everything by word of mouth. Okay, I ain't never seen that. Like, okay, I'm a Jersey girl. So, you know, you put up a sign, you have a website. In fact, credibility to us is not necessarily word of mouth, but all of the other things that say that you're credible. Like, we would never call the street sign. Don't ever put a number on the pole. We're not doing that. You need to have a facility. You need to have a, okay? That's the East Coast. That's the tri-state mindset. Okay, I came out here and I'm like, people put sticks in the ground with numbers and get phone calls. Like, this works. I can't even believe it. My mind, hashtag blown. Okay, I didn't know, because I'm sitting there thinking, what? But I recognize word of mouth here is a big deal. And that builds trust. No one will even call you if somebody said that you're not trustworthy. Keep that reputation. Be more productive, okay? I like this one. Be more productive. And when you're being more productive, you want to create habits of production. Habits of doing things that will produce for you and not time wasters. Okay? Because sometimes sitting down and overindulging in TV is a time waster. It's not a habit of production. It's not going to produce what you're trying to do. And when you're going after success, you don't want to build success moments. You want to build success products, so that you always have something after a moment to build on. Because some people build successful moments. Oh yeah, it was great. We had this great event, and then after that, there was no success products there. So everybody remembers the event and nothing else. That's a moment. But you always want to be thinking about how to build success products. Okay? Be productive. Don't waste your time on unproductive things. Powerful people don't. If you notice, they give unproductive things to other people. They're going to pay somebody to wash their car, watch their kids, go to the store, do the well, y'all, come on here. They outsource unproductivity. I'm just saying. And y'all will get there, right? We on our way. We on our way. Come on. How about this? A good work ethic. All right? A good work ethic, which includes dependability. You have to be dependable. And that seems like it's SOP, but it's one of the first things that take businesses out. Well, when I called, when I functioned, they didn't even come. They didn't even write, they didn't even get there. They didn't even deliver. And unfortunately, can I be real with us in here? Us, this is, okay? If I can be real with us, dependability is one of our highest, and they be like, buy black, not if I want to get it. And if I want it to be quality. Because see, some things ain't about being white, it's about being right. I need my stuff to show up. Deliver. Deliver. Don't talk, don't sell, deliver. Okay, where they say undersell and over deliver. But deliver. Timeliness. You know us in the clock. I don't even know. We can't even look at a clock. So there you go. We struggle with the clock. It's a historical thing. We don't understand where it came from. It's in our gene pool, something in the DNA. I have no idea. We got to work at it as a collective. Because not every individual is like that. Because you know, in our organization, we can't do nothing 5 seconds late. What's happening? And don't let the boss show up before you. You really don't. Okay? Because you have to be timely. Diligence. Okay? Diligence is the level of attention you give to things. And how many times do you not give enough attention to things? Balls drop, you miss details, give people wrong information. That kills the moment. And you know what? That takes us back to the lack of trust situation, don't it? Well, now. How about this? What I thought was interesting. Oh, wait, professionalism. All of these, by the way, am I right, Charity? All of these constitute professionalism. Because you know what professionalism actually comes from? The root word profess, which actually means a profession, which comes from the root word profess, which actually means to make a vow to the public you will keep. When you say it's your profession, you're making a public vow to the community that you can deliver on XYZ services. It's a vow. When you say this is my profession, what I profess to be able to do. Is that okay to say? Be interesting. Okay? Powerful people are always interesting. Don't just be conversant on yourself and your own business. Be conversant on other things. How many of you guys have ever got into a small talk conversation that ended up turning into a great business deal? And you were not talking about anything related to your business. You have a small talk about grass, about, the person down the street, a recommendation for a software product, XYZ's television show, okay? But because you were conversant, well-read, and knowledgeable about more than just what you do, guess what? It turned into an opportunity. Because why? You're interesting. I know, isn't that crazy? But your personality, okay, is one of your most valuable assets. People will work with you because they like you. Oh man, that's such a great guy. I'm going to go with his recommendation. Why? Because he's a great guy. You didn't know him. You had a 10-minute conversation. You just enjoyed how he came off, but you're going to go with his recommendation. So be interesting. Be well-read. Be ready to listen. Learn. No one, I love this. This is a direct quote from the site itself. It says, no one owes you attention. Attention is not owed, it's earned. And you have to keep it by attracting people to you. And you can't attract people just by the things that you do. Who has a friend that's always selling something? Anybody have a friend that's always selling something and every conversation is about what they're selling? And you start dodging and bobbing and weaving and avoiding and you see them coming and you run the other way and you go, okay? Because at the end of the day, you're like, I don't want it. This person about to ask, I already know. No, I'm not. You want to wear a shirt, a badge that just lights up. No, I'm not interested. Because they always, you don't want to be that person. And a lot of things can attract people to your business, not just your product. So you want to be diverse, okay? You want to work on your diversity in your presentation, yourself, your image, everything. Because a lot of things that cause people to want to do business with you, okay? And your product could just be a bonus. Be nice. We talked about your personality. Don't be discourteous, disrespectful, unpolite, inconsiderate, and unmannerable. People will avoid you. I don't care how good it is. Okay, yes, Bonquisha can do hair, but my God, she always lighting folk up. After a while, when you find that Sister Sally can do your hair just as good as Bonquiqui, and you don't have to have the attitude, you don't. Because one thing as African Americans, we don't think that one another deserves, and that's good service. That bothers me, which is why I often stay out of the black community. I watch the deterioration happen as soon as they see the look on my face. I was in Atlanta, and I said, now see, this is why I would never live here. This is why I never buy black right here. Because I don't think I deserve to be treated less simply because we're on the level. You're not charging me less than you charge the person that came before me, so then why do I have to have less service? And we do that. I ain't got to work that hard because you understand. Why do I have to understand? Why can I not just get what I pay for? Now, if you're giving me a hookup and it's free, okay, that's one thing. Because that means that your attitude is matching my output, what I just put into it, is my investment. But if you're going to ask me to make an equivalent or greater investment because you are my bro, then I expect that I'm going to get equivalent in return, not less, because I understand the struggle is real. And I do understand the struggle is real, especially those home. Anyway, that's the sidebar. The reality is, okay, that we owe each other what we promised. We should not be treated less than the best. We're already treated like that in every other area by here. On principle, it should not be. I didn't come here today and say, I'm not going to prepare, I'm just going to be just up here talking about whatever. Absolutely not. Why? Because I don't believe that about us. And I don't believe that you should be shortchanging your investment just because we know the struggle is real. You guys need to be ready to succeed and to take the world where it needs to go by storm, particularly your world. Powerful people. All right, self-discipline. Do you know, okay, what you need to do? Okay, I love this. This is my phrase. They ain't say this. But you need to do what you need to do and not what you want to do. That's self-discipline. Doing what you need to do and not what you want to do. Because there's a lot of things we want to do. But in order for us to reach our goals in our business, there are things that we need to do. Okay? And then here's where we will wrap up on these two things. Don't be a victim or a martyr. Nobody wants anybody that plays a victim. First of all, everybody has a story. Don't use excuses as a reason for why you're disappointing your customers in business. Just say you're going to fix it and move on. Because everybody has a reason. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a problem. Don't lead with that. Don't build on that foundation. Because people don't put trust in victims. They put trust in victors. And don't play the martyr and throw yourself on the altar. Why don't we just give it to you for free? Why don't we just understand or whatever? Don't be the martyr. Live up to the value of what you're offering. And know that value and then put that demand on others. Because your business can't succeed beyond that level of value. Would y'all say it's true? And we martyr ourselves sometimes. Be the one making the self-sacrifice. No. Put the challenge out there. This is valuable. And I always tell people, if you want to know how much you're worth, ask somebody for money. You'll find out real quick what your value is in anybody's life. It could be your mama, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your friend. Okay? Ask them for money, and you'll find out quickly where you stand. Because money literally sets the tone, sets the standard for what value is. Stay healthy. Don't let yourself take a vitamin, take a pill, do something for yourself. Because I'm going to try to tell you, okay, when you want to succeed, your body will betray you at your most opportune time. Is it true? Okay? You got to deliver your best, and your body's in its worst state. You get a cold, you sick, you ill. Don't underestimate the need when it comes to self-management, your need to take care of yourself. Because though we kind of do that, and especially as women, we put ourselves last. And then when we have to deliver the most, this body is going another direction. So as we close out today, things that I want you to remember about being powerful. Number one, being powerful is a mentality. Okay? Powerful people, what they do, they have a mentality of conquest, not just success. Where everybody else is just thinking success, you're thinking conquest. Because you want your success to stay in your control. What makes you successful is your ability to sustain. Sustain the win. It shouldn't be a moment. It should be a lifestyle. So sustain the win. Mentality of conquest. All right? You want to identify yourself not by your abilities, but your consciousness and attitude of achievement. Why should you do this? Because that's who I am. I'm going to win this because a winner is who I am. Not because the circumstances fit the moment. But this is who I am. This is what I do. And when you believe that, you can do it under any circumstance. I'm telling you, it won't matter. Okay? You want to perfect your strengths. You see your strengths as utilities for goal attainment. Your strengths are your utilities for goal attainment. So you want to perfect those. Powerful people are always perfecting what they do well. They never ever stay in their last win. Don't ever do it. Don't park there. Don't park in your last success. Because you've already obsoleted yourself. Because the moment that somebody sees how it needs to be done, they're ready to go to the next level. Is it true? Don't park in your last success. Continue to perfect your strengths. Don't be afraid of your weaknesses. Monitor, master, manage, and limit their effect. Don't be afraid of your weaknesses. Monitor, master, manage, and limit their effects. When it comes to your weakness, you don't have to be afraid of them. You just want to limit the impact they're going to have on what you're trying to do. And most people manage their weaknesses. You don't always get rid of them. Some of them you might master what you know is not the best thing for you. Now, I know that's not good for me, so in place of that, I know I have a tendency to always forget things at this time, so I'm going to go ahead and write everything down and then set an alarm and alert and prepare. So that's mastering a weakness. You don't get rid of it, but you master its limitation, and you work around that and limit that fault from impacting your success. Now, don't be afraid to take a risk. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll end with that. Don't be afraid to take a risk or failure. Focus on the accomplishments and the outcomes, not the risk and not the failure. The only time failure will stop you is when you quit pursuing your outcome. My mentor told me, she said, oh, I'm never going to be a failure. She said, because I'm never going to quit pursuing. You can't fail at what you don't quit. Because she's going for an outcome. Never forgot that. That stayed with me for the rest of my life. Can't fail what you don't quit. So don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid to take risks. One thing that's hard for women is making decisions because they're always concerned about consequence. Don't think consequence, think outcome. Focus on your outcomes, not the consequences. And that will literally mediate that fear that hits you every time you have to make a big decision. Okay? And then learn to live with your decisions. Powerful people live with their decisions, don't they? You have to learn to live with them. Okay? Because that's the other problem. We want to kind of blame and shovel and shift things around. No, live with your decision only. The good and the bad. If it was a bad decision, you're going to learn from it. If it's a good one, then you're going to eat from it. Know yourself. Self-denial will equal self-annihilation. Do not be in denial. The better you know you, it's better you find out, okay, what your strengths and weaknesses are in other people. You definitely don't want your competitors finding that out before you. Okay? And certainly not your enemies. Don't be in self-denial about anything related to yourself. Because remember, nothing about you is out of your control. The good, the bad, or the ugly. It's all still within your domain. My mentor told me, she said, there's nothing you can do about the things that happen to you, but there is something you can do about how it affects you. That you do control. So nothing that happens is out of your control. And lastly, use yourself in the most productive way to achieve your goals. Self-management is using yourself productively to achieve your goals. That means you're going to use yourself deliberately. Everything you do is going to be deliberate. If you're going to win, it's going to be deliberate. If you're going to put an outfit on, you deliberately wore that because you knew what you were going to do, what you were going to get. If you're going to say that word, you deliberately knew the impact and the outcome. Winning is deliberate. And powerful people do everything deliberately. Body language, deliberate. Everything's deliberate. Because they're always in control. Did y'all enjoy that today?